Welcome back to Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430. This is the weekly program where we catch up with all things Catholic in the greater Houston area. This is Wyatt Goolsby, Executive Director of this radio station, KSHJ. And the work is on to build a new Catholic high school here in our area. Blessed Carlo Acutis High School is the name and has the encouragement from our Archdiocese. Joining us on the program to talk all about those efforts is Ken Allinson. He's the president of the board of directors for the future Catholic high school, again, Blessed Carlo Acutis High School. Ken, thanks for coming into the studio. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Wyatt. It's a pleasure to be here with you and share more about this exciting project.
It is very exciting and really a testament to how fast the greater Houston area has grown in different parts of it as well. So, Ken, tell me about the need for a new Catholic high school. I know that our area, Archdiocese, has a lot of different Catholic schools in different parts of the area. Why do we need another one?
Sure. So it's a great question. This Catholic high school is meant to serve not just one parish, like our parochial schools, but in fact the entire Bay Area deanery and beyond. Okay. So it is serving 10 parishes. That's in the southeast part of Houston. In addition to having 3 Catholic K-8 feeder schools. Mm-hmm. So if you think about the deanery, it's everywhere from Pearland and St. Helens on the west side to St. Mary's League City on the southeast side, all the way up to St. Mary LaPorte on the northeast side. So it's a large area. There are 26,000 registered households and over 120,000 Catholics. So it's a great area. And at the same time, it's kind of a desert when you think about the Catholic. There's no Catholic high schools today. It's about 60 miles from between the 2 nearest Catholic high schools. So there's a large unmet need, and we can talk about that in terms of our feasibility study results. But it certainly confirmed that. In addition to experiencing high area growth the last 15 years in that area. So it's impressive. Clearly, there's a gap in providing a Catholic high school in this area. And at the same time, people were very excited about it. So, in fact, there was a study done back in 2009 from the Archdiocese that said in about 15 years, this area would need a Catholic high school. And so
it was well predicted. Wow.
Very timely. And lo and behold, we came to, at the time, it was Dr. Debbie Haney, former superintendent, and she was aware of the study, and she said, this is very timely. So very providential.
Yeah, I know that it's been talked about for a long time, and you guys have been studying what feasibility would be to build a Catholic high school in that area. And as you guys have been thinking about it and talking about it, my understanding is that you guys had talked with Bishop Italo del Oro about it and had mentioned kind of throwing out the idea of a name for a school. And he had an idea for naming it after Blessed Carlo Acutis. Am I right on that? How did that conversation come about?
Yeah, and we've been working with the Archdiocese since the very beginning. So, but very providential in this sense, kind of a fun story. So, we were very intentional about establishing a mission and a vision for this school, who we want it to be. Mm-hmm. So we not only we did some benchmarking of leading Catholic institutions across the globe. We also had started one of our meetings in front of the Tabernacle at St. Clare of Assisi, knowing how important this is, and even had an all-day workshop or a Saturday workshop to discern the mission and vision. What came out of that was our 3 pillars: to be forming disciples, academic excellence, and building community. And we kind of liked the idea of 3 with the Holy Family. I happen to love St. Joseph, and so as a dad, as kind of such a silent strength he has. So that was kind of where we leaned towards as Holy Family. At the same time, in our mission statement, we were very intentional on being centered on the Eucharist. And I think Bishop Italo keyed in on that and said, "Have you thought about Blessed Carlo Acutis?" And me being guilty, I was like, in my head, I thought, "Who's that?" I didn't know much about him at all. So convicted, right? But since then, we have been falling in love with Carlo. And I will say, fast forward a couple months, they asked us, okay, what is your name? And we came back to that, and we said, there was 4 of us at the time, and we said, let's take it to prayer. So in a week's time, we came back, and all 4 of us, to a person, had come to the same conclusion for different reasons, saying, Blessed Carlo is the one. And you can share more about this in the interview, but he will offer so many gifts to our young people. It's just been an amazing saint to learn about.
Yeah, well, I want you to kind of unpack that a little bit more, because I think, Ken, you're not the only one who may not know a whole lot about Blessed Carlo. We've heard about him. It's talked about a lot in the church. He is going to be canonized, so many people are looking forward to that. But give me an overview for people who don't know anything about Blessed Carlo. Tell me about him.
Sure. So he will be the first millennial saint. And so this is really exciting. Died in 2006 at the age of 15, so a young saint. Born in 91, so he was coming of age and kind of the dawn of the internet and kind of in the infancy of social media. he's known for having created a website of Eucharistic miracles. And so people look to him as that kind of technology saint. At the same, and he loved, just like our kids today, loved playing video games, PlayStation, Xbox. He played, I think my kids ask, he's like, did we say that he's the first saint who played Halo? I was like, yes, I think he did. It's a funny story, but he also gave himself moderation, right? So he recognized the power of technology to evangelize, at the same time how it could be misused. So he was very much in the world and not of the world. And he will be such a gift to our young people. I've been learning about him since that time. And very much, I think, in the model of St. Francis, he went out to the peripheries. He was always engaged in students who were marginalized. He went to go give sleeping bags to the homeless. And at the same time, stood up for issues of truth around purity. He would call friends out for being impure, or for times when he knew they could be better. He would also help students who were marginalized, ostracized, and befriended them. He converted his mother and also adults who helped his family, who were interacted simply by his life, and had a clear and deep devotion to Jesus, especially in the Eucharist. He went to daily Mass after he was 7 and received his first communion every day thereafter. I believe daily adoration as well, and just lived a life of simplicity, but also that deep devotion to Jesus. And he has a couple fun quotes that I'll share. One of the most famous ones is, "The Eucharist is my highway to heaven," which I love. He also talked about, which is really fun, how we get tan in front of the sun, but we can go to adoration and grow in holiness, right? Seeing the glow of our Lord. Just a wonderful person, and still inspiring today, seeing all the young people come to Assisi where he's buried and to see his body. And now with the canonization.
I'm so happy that you mentioned his devotion to Christ in the Eucharist, because that's something that we can all relate to. We have, luckily we're here in the Houston area. We have lots of churches, opportunities to go to Mass or to go to Eucharistic adoration. And so he's someone who put Christ really then at the center of his worship in the Eucharist. Also had, of course, a love for our Heavenly Mother Mary as well. So again, great examples, like I said, for young people as well, who will eventually be going to this high school, to have somebody to look up to in that sense. So it seems to me, Ken, thinking about developing this high school, building a high school, seems like a huge undertaking. And I know you guys have a lot of people who are trying to help, trying to advise you guys. Tell me about the work you've done so far, just to make sure that you could do this, that could build a high school.
Sure. It's a labor of love, as you say, Wyatt. And it's not just me. It's not even just our board. I want to shout out to our board members who've been really devoted to this, but there's a large community of support. And even in the feasibility phase, we had not just us, but probably 30 people or so that were helping in different ways, shapes, and forms, giving their time, talent, treasure to this. And now seeing the community come together as we promote the school and garner support, it's been fantastic to see that come alive as well. And I think Carlo has been helping form us as in our families, but even in our communities. We just had the movie yesterday that they shared, a movie on his life called The Roadmap to Reality, which is fantastic. And so that was a great event. We had about 150 people there who were all excited to see and learn more about Carlo and how to bring all of us and our children closer to Jesus through his life. But no, indeed, we conducted a detailed feasibility study. This started, by the way, with grassroots efforts. So a very humble beginnings in 2 parish meetings back in 2022. So it's been 3 years now. And that then led to our feasibility study throughout 2023. We did a very comprehensive demographic survey across the area, over 1,000 responders to that. And in a feasibility study, you have to do a number of things. You have to look at demographics, curriculum, financial model out 5 years, land and building. So a very holistic business plan. And we that gave us a lot of confidence, and the Archdiocese a lot of confidence that this is really the right time, and we have a very successful operating model for the school. That takes a lot of effort to put together, obviously, and was great that we had so many talented individuals come and want to help in that effort.
Yeah. How did you guys, I was looking at y'all's website, and it says the school is unapologetically Catholic. How did y'all come up with that slogan or that idea?
Yeah, and great plug for the website. So carlocatholic.org, go check it out. I'll say that again at the end. But no, indeed, that slogan we love, and I think borrowed that from the CSO's office, the Catholic Schools office, because it really encapsulates who we want the school to be. Think about unapologetically Catholic, especially in today's day and age, as the world becomes more secular. That's not a secret. But we also know that we want to help all of us become more on fire for Jesus, and to really radiate that joy that attracts people to the faith. And that's sometimes countercultural. I think that's what Carlo found as well, that he would stand up for the truth. He would be, I think in some of his anecdotes, he would be the only one arguing for a position of the church among his classmates. whether it be the sanctity of life, for purity, like I mentioned. And so he would be the only one taking that stand, but yet he did so because he knew and loved Jesus so much. He had that encounter. And so we want to have that same fervor, that same fire that we want to encourage amongst all the people in our community, especially our young people. And also academic excellence. We want this to be a showcasing the richness of the faith. There's 2,000 years of history with some of the best and brightest thinkers we have in the Catholic tradition that helps illuminate all the aspects of a curriculum in biology and science and mathematics. And so what an amazing gift to be able to marry those two things to bring to a Catholic education. It's such a gift. We want to be able to share that with all as we can in our area.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to be able to pray for Catholic education because it's so important in our area. And like you say, the need is there. Ken, remind me the website. So for people who want to learn more about Blessed Carlo Acutis High School.
Yeah, so carlocatholic.org. So check it out. It's
easy to remember, right? Carlocatholic.org.
Carlocatholic.org. Perfect. And you can read there more about our mission. You can see about the school. There's a page to donate as well. So check it out. You can sign up for more information. You can see about our upcoming events and our promotional activities, even some artwork that we've had created for Carlo as well, people who support the members of our board. So learn more at carlocatholic.org.
Also, one shout out to Maria, y'all's vice president on the board, for working so hard. I know that she's been working to get a lot of information on social media as well that we've been putting up there as well about it, and also information about the canonization of Blessed Carlo Acutis, which is going to be exciting when it happens. I know it's delayed now, but we'll be looking forward to that as well. So again, I want to thank you, Ken Allinson, president of the board of directors for future Blessed Carlo Acutis High School. Thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Wyatt. Let me just end with, again, I wanted to thank you again so much for this opportunity to share more about this exciting project. I want to ask all the listeners for, one, your prayers. This is not going to be our school, but God's school. We cannot do this without Him and the Holy Spirit, so we ask, number one, for your prayers. Number two, if you're interested in volunteering, please sign up for more information. And lastly, prayerfully consider if you might want to donate to this important project. We can have a Catholic high school here in this area. We just need to build it, and we ask for your prayerful donations. Thank you.
Very good. Ken Allinson, thanks very much. We appreciate that.